This micro-lecture will examine some aspects of reviewing literature critically and how this may be exemplified in your academic writing. Whilst I'm not talking about a comprehensive systematic literature review here, I am looking at how we can make selective reviews that you might carry out as part of a master's or doctoral thesis or essay more rigorous and critical. The aims then are, firstly, to emphasise the importance of leaving a trail about how you have approached and searched the literature. Secondly, to examine strategies for establishing the veracity of the evidence you find in your search of the literature. Leaving a trail and being transparent about how you have searched for literature is important because it gives the reader or user of your research confidence that you have been rigorous in your approach, and it also enables them to replicate your search at a date in the future to see if any new research has become available. So it is good to let the reader know what search engines or databases have you used to find the literature. For example, many university libraries use the EBSCO British Education Index, BEI, or the US-based English Language Educational Resources Information Centre, ERIC for short. It's also good to let your reader know what keywords or search terms have you used. What search terms return the most results? What about particular search strategies for focusing your research? For example, did you use Boolean operators or modifiers to focus your searches? And if so, how did this help? To find out more about Boolean search strategies, explore the link that will appear on the screen. Pause this screencast and take a moment to read the following extract. What do you notice here? So the author in this first extract not only lets the reader know what search terms they used, but also tells the reader about some of the aspects they noticed themselves when carrying out the searches, such as the cross-referencing between particular papers and the fact that many of them also featured meta-analyses. Pause again on this second extract. What do you notice here? So here the author explains how they had to extend their search terms to include Key Stage 2 because they were interested in how manipulatives might support older children and not only the youngest learners or children with special educational needs. Both of these examples exemplify why it is important to leave a trail and explain to your readers or the users of your research how you approach the literature search. It can help to give the reader a sense of the nature of the literature and some of the issues you have had in identifying a valid and useful body of evidence. Next, I'm going to look at some of the ways we weigh the evidence when carrying out a review of literature. A strong literature review does much more than simply report the findings from a body of literature on a particular issue. It is essential in reviewing literature to try to establish the veracity of the evidence and ask how the various findings we uncover have been established. Pause and read this extract. Notice how it goes beyond merely reporting the findings of the research being reviewed, but also explores and explains the methods used, highlighting some of the issues with the methods that we need to consider. And finally, pause the screencast and have a read of this extract. Notice how, in detailing the methods of different studies, it also highlights the different cultural contexts, as well as speculating about potential issues with the methods used. This micro lecture should have helped you to develop your academic voice when reviewing literature by illustrating how you can become more critical. It's important to remember that you are doing much more than reporting the findings of the literature you uncover. You are trying to establish the current veracity and nature of the evidence in this area. This involves engaging critically with the methods that have been adopted to research this area. It's also important because if you are going to design your own research, then it's useful to know what methods and approaches have been taken before. This can help to establish the trustworthiness of the existing evidence and also highlight any gaps in how the issue has been researched before. Thanks for listening.